Away we go. Starting the day off, we're moving the skid steer down here to the next job. It's only about a half mile, so it was just as quick to do this as go around, hook up the trailer, come back on this side of the creek, get down in there, load up, then come over and unload. So time is of the essence today, and later on in today's video you'll see why time is of the essence. So we're trying to work fast while we can this morning to get the skid steer. Of course, the skidder is sitting right there because we've been working right here in the area close, so that makes it handy on moving. Kind of saves me the trouble of hauling, wear and tear on my trailer and truck, which, as you guys know, I don't like roading the skid steer any further than I have to. But instances like this, it doesn't bother me to road it too bad. Now when we get over here, first thing we're going to do, we're going to work up a creek crossing. It's already there, we're just going to straighten it up a little bit because it's been a little neglected over the years. So we'll make it to where it's in good shape for us and the landowner for years to come. Then Dad will cross over there and start cutting, and I'll come back over here and get the skidder. And I'm going to try to get a few drug out while Dad takes all the glory in cutting some of these monsters. I don't know why I make plans to do things. My plans never go as I plan. So I'm cutting this morning along with Dad. We brought the skid steer over, knocked out a road, or fixed up the crossing, which we'll look at after a bit. It was already there, we just kind of cleaned it up. We're over here cutting on these walnut, which, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to be cutting, but I really wanted to move some logs this morning. That, of course, when we left off last week, that 440, the steering, it wasn't quite right on it, and I thought, you know, I can get by with it. I can get by with this job. Then this is pretty flat, nothing real technical. We can get by here, and then I'll get it home back in the shop, get that addressed. It didn't even want to start this morning, and I didn't even mess with it too much. We had a loose connection, and I was in a hurry, so we're cutting. We've got kind of a hectic day anyway as far as time goes. I say that, and here I am making YouTube videos. But so that's why I'm not even messing with that today. We'll just try to get several more laid down today. Then on the other side, Dad bucked them to lengths yesterday when he cut them. So we'll go ahead and pack them to a deck. Now these over here, I don't want to pack these because it's just way too much packing with the skid steer. I don't want to waller out that crossing with packing heavy weights through it. So we're going to get this guy down. Kind of an ugly tree. Kind of odd how it's grown there. It's got a good, probably 22 foot section in it here. Then if that doesn't bust up on impact, we might be able to pull a couple little logs out of the top there. A couple 11, maybe 12 inch pieces. I'd say 12 inches is probably getting to be wishful thinking up there, but we'll salvage what we can. Of course, you can see out through there we got some big ones to cut. I was hoping we'd wait till Dad brought this one down, but anyway, this is a hard leaning tree, and as Dean Parks was commenting this morning in the comments from yesterday's video, about the cutting, we were kind of laughing and joking about people watching and wanting to go out and be loggers after going through all this cutting. I'm the last person in the world you want to learn anything from. I will be upfront and honest with you. Just because I do it, it definitely doesn't mean it's the best way to go about doing it. I probably take the long way in everything I do. But this tree with the hard lean, I'm going to go ahead and set this down here, and I'm going to show you how we punch this out, even with this hard lean, no notch. We're going to follow it right back in here, that's where it's going to do the least amount of damage, and there's already some old dead snags out there, so it's not going to hurt any residual trees. So here we go. We're going to get you real close today. Right where we wanted it. I really wish I would have set the camera up to film the falling of this tree here. Before I cut it, I cut into that hackberry. I didn't cut it all the way, as you can see there. I cut about 80% of it. That way, when this tree fell, because I left wood hold over here to pull it, shoot it right out there in that open area. Like I said, you always kind of aim for the place that's going to do the least amount of damage. Of course, we wanted to get out there. We didn't want it to fall on that crotch up there. And looking at the tree, I didn't think it'd cut that good, but man, it cut incredible. Good flush stump right on the ground. Really good tree here. Dad's getting ready to bring a big one down. It's got a worrisome spot up there. Hopefully he can pull it, and I believe he is right there. This is another hog right here. Years and years ago, it sustained some wind damage at some point in time. I would say that's wind. I don't think it's lightning. I see no visible scars coming down it. It could be wind, it could be ice. I mean, there's a possibility it could be lightning, but I don't think it is. I'm going to try to put this tree right back in here on the top of this last one I cut, just to keep the tops all together. I'm going to come in on the back side there. I'm going to put my 90 in. We'll punch it all out. We'll leave a little bit of wood over here hold, and that's how we're going to try to get to pull around. I don't see any of those limbs up there being too big of a hazard as far as popping the tree or busting it. So we're just going to let it roll. The only one that might pose a little bit of concern is this one here, but I think we can fall it off that limb anyway. So I've already went in, and of course there was a pretty good guard system up around it, rose bush there. I always like to have a clean work area, so I go in and trim everything up. That way I can get ready to bore, because you guys know we cut them close to the ground. My dad's over here working on another big one, which these ones Dad's cutting, they're leaning real hard. And he was telling me a minute ago, he said, you better make sure you get all your heartwood cut out. And yeah, on these walnut, because they're extremely brittle, they bust very easily. Especially with boring them out, you definitely want to make sure you get all that heartwood and everything punched out on the inside. And then even when I go to clip my spurs, I clip a little bit of each spur before I finally let them go, just so if they start to go premature, that wood will bust off instead of pull it up the tree. So we'll set the camera up and we'll see if we can get this beast on the ground. That is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Flush cut across that big stump there. Beautiful figure and grain in there. Laid it right over here in these tops. Missed this young walnut tree. Got into some of these elm. That's okay. They're more of an invasive species. We did hit on this limb like we thought we would, but it busted in the limb and it didn't get into the main body of the tree. So that's a win. There is a lot of footage in this tree. There is a good 18-foot log at least in this tree. There is a really good second cut heavy lumber log in the tree. A really good third cut heavy lumber log in the tree. And some number 2 lumber up there in the top. I should go off the record on this next statement, but I'm glad I got to this one before Dad did. They're fun to cut, they really are. I know Dad's having a good time out here cutting these big things too. And it truly is. I mean, that's part of what makes this so great, is getting to be out here with Dad every day. You know, Dad's 77, and the fact that he still wants to get up every day early, come out here and do this. And a lot of times, 7 days a week, he wants to do this. It's not just a few days here and a few days there. It's not only during the week, it's on the weekends. Dad still loves being out here in the woods. And part of what pushes me to work hard is Dad pushes me, and I think I push Dad at the same time. So we do kind of feed on each other to be out here and to be good loggers. And it truly is. That's what makes the job so great. It's getting to be out here with Dad every day. So I'll start getting this thing worked up. These are going to be a lot of fun to drag out. These are just they're just a fun set of trees. They really are. They're cutting a lot better than I thought they would, as far as when I looked at them, because I've said it time and time again. Big trees, big problems. You know, when you see a lot of these big trees, we've seen some things in them to just really make me think, like, my gosh, this thing's just it's gonna cut terrible. And don't get me wrong, we've cut a few that haven't cut the greatest, but overall, for their size, they're cutting really good. And you know, not even a half mile from here where we were, the wind shake just ate those trees up. We're not really seeing that wind shake in these trees. This big tree here that Dad's cutting, see where lightning's worked it over. He run out of gas boring it out. He just filled up and I just filled up. I'm going to watch him get this one down. Hoping it'll go right back in there. We were both kind of talking, before we started cutting, we kind of wish we'd have got them other couple in there out before we started burying treetops on trees, because that can make things just kind of a headache. But definitely want the top to go back in there to minimize the mess. Big tree. Glad we're able to salvage something out of it. I don't think it'll be too bad, really. That's a pretty old lightning star. At least it looks old. Seems like the wind blows about every day over here in this part of the world. And you really notice it when you're cutting these tall trees. Oh boy. Really started to pop a move there. Looks like it cut pretty good. I never doubt him. There's times I wonder, but I never doubt him. He brought that thing down right out there where he wanted it to go. I did cut into this hackberry for him. That way it just, like I said, I kind of like doing that. That way you don't have much of a spring tree, and I probably should have cut a little more of it when I did. That way it busts completely off. But man, what a tree. He didn't think he'd be able to get all the heartwood punched out. Just 25-inch bars is all we run on our day-to-day saws. We figured there'd be well over 1,000 feet in this tree, probably upwards of 1,200. Because up there where Dad's at, it's still probably 21, 22 inches. It's a big tree. And even with that bad lightning seam scar, it's really not a seam, it's more or less just a scar. See the bark? That'll keep it out of a high-end veneer grade for sure, but it'll still be a really good heavy lumber log. While he's doing that, I'm going to trim this back here. Short day in the woods anyway. Let's go on to the second project for the day. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.